Another week, another stack of quality Nintendo Switch eShop deals covering the US, Canada, UK, Europe and Australia. And this time, we got some big ones. From hidden gems to recent heavy hitters, there's a ton to like. We've also got 2 winners to announce later in the video for 2 $10 eShop gift cards, but also, of course, 2 more to give away. Just drop a comment down below to enter. And if this video helps you find something new to play and you just enjoy content like this, plus think previews, reviews, there's going to be a huge wave of Gamescom coverage next month from Germany, heading there very soon. But it's basically, yeah, look, consider subscribing. It helps out a smaller channel like mine more than you know. All right, now let's get into it. Eastward Between Two Worlds bundle is 45% off, matching its lowest price on this. It's a brilliant package. It includes both the base game as well as its DLC, Octopia. And while you can buy them separately, I do think this bundle is absolutely worth it, just because the two halves are completely different, and that's what makes it so special. Now, the original Eastward is a story-driven pixel art action-adventure. It kind of mixes Zelda-style exploration with this post-apocalyptic tale. But yeah, you'll be taking on the role of Sam and John, an unlikely duo navigating decaying cities, underground towns, bizarre enemy encounters, and there's loads of like puzzle solving and just incredible writing throughout. Then Octopia flips the formula just entirely. It's cozy, slow-paced. It leans into farming life, like if Stardew Valley had the same stunning art style and soundtrack as the main experience. There's no combat here in this bit, just rebuilding a little village, tending crops, yeah, watching this world come back to life. But together, it's just a brilliant pairing. You know, one is kind of bleak and bold, the other's warm and hopeful, and they both look and run just incredibly well. Tales of Iron 2 Whiskers of Winter is 40% off, matching its lowest price. If you like the first game's gritty, side-scrolling, Souls-like approach, this sequel basically delivers more of what made it work and, well yeah, then some. You play as Arlo, defending the frozen north from a fresh threat in a land buried under snow and ice. The combat is still the core draw, slow, deliberate and punishing. You'll be parrying, dodging and breaking through enemy armor in fights that demand timing and patience. It's bloody tough in places, and while some of the controls still feel a little finicky, especially around directional attacks, there's very little here to be disappointed by if you're returning from that first experience. It also looks fantastic with hand-drawn art that leans into the frostbitten setting and a new traversal system that lets you explore vertical spaces with grapples and wall jumps. So yeah, look, if you're after a challenge and a beautifully dark world to fight through, this one's definitely a strong pick. Eiyuden Chronicles 100 Heroes is 65% off. That is a new low price, but performance-wise, this one's still far from perfect on the Switch 1 at least. I haven't had a chance to test it on Switch 2 yet, but no doubt that'll help with things like load times and overall stability. I will be checking it out very soon. That said though, underneath the rough edges, there's a genuinely good JRPG here. You know, the setup is classic, a continent teetering on the edge of war, a corrupt empire chasing ancient power, and a young warrior who finds himself at the center of it all. Over time, you'll do things like build a home base, recruit over 100 characters, and lead a 6-person party into turn-based battles that really kind of lean into party synergy and special combo attacks. What I like most though is the heart. There's a sincerity to the writing, there's a world that feels lived in, and just generally there's a clear love for the genre. So yeah, look, it's not perfect, but at this price, it's a nostalgic adventure worth taking. Lorelei and the Laser Eyes is 30% off a new low price, and this is an absolute gem, and it's one I actually featured in a recent video. I'll link that down below. But it's a puzzle game at its core, but not the kind with casual kind of brain teasers or hand-holding. This is layered, cryptic, and deeply strange in the best possible way. So basically, you arrive at a hotel in the dead of night, and from there, basically, good luck. Time loops, alternate realities, riddles wrapped in riddles. Lorelei doesn't just test your logic, it plays with your perception. The puzzles are just brilliant. And then what really elevates it is the atmosphere. Just that black and white visual style. There's flashes of neon red, and also this constant sense that you're being watched or at least manipulated by the game itself. I adored this one. Incredibly well done. Want something more relaxed? Well, both Shin-chan and Me and the Professor on summer vacation and Shin-chan, Shiro and the Cold Town, they are both on sale right now, both at new low prices. In the first game, it drops you into a sleepy town in Japan where you play as Shin-chan on summer holiday. You're catching bugs, taking photos, helping locals, and just getting caught up in a time-traveling kind of subplot involving a mad professor, dinosaurs, just all sorts of weirdness. It's slow-paced, charming, and full of those small summer memories that just kind of stick with you. It's all about imagination. Shiro and the coal town then kicks off in a stranger, more dreamlike way. Shiro runs off one morning covered in soot and leads Shin-chan to a mysterious train. That train whisks him away to Coal Town, a bustling little place frozen in time. Basically think like lots of working class energy, lots of unique characters, tons of secrets. It's less about routine, this one, more about discovery, with a new cast, a new mystery, and that same mix of heart and humour. Didn't really know the character myself before these games, but the charm, honestly, incredible. And because of it, I'll be day one on all future releases. It's just real, like, feel-good stuff, and sometimes you just need that. SCHiM, I actually never know how to pronounce this one, even though I did review it on the channel. I'll link that below, but it's 40% off a new low price, and it's a lovely little puzzle game with a completely unique concept. Basically, you play as a shadow, separated from its owner, trying to make your way back by hopping between the shadows of objects, people, and animals in the world around you. The entire game is built around light and movement, so puzzles feel intuitive and very kind of like flowy. It's a lot of like almost swimming. You'll ride bike shadows though, jump across traffic, and use pedestrians or animals to reach new spots. All in this kind of like soft, stylized world where everything feels gentle. You know, it's very minimalist. It is short, about 3.5 hours, but I will be honest here, this is my one complaint. It did start to drag a bit near the end. But still, it's one of those games where the core idea is incredibly clever, so it's worth experiencing just to kind of see how it plays out. Again, my full review is down below. Crow Country is 40% off a new low price, and this is a love letter to classic survival horror. Fixed camera angles, chunky PS1 style visuals, and a creepy abandoned theme park hiding a whole lot of secrets. Now you play as Mara, investigating the disappearance of the park's owner. But of course, as you'd expect, things get weird real quick. The atmosphere though, spot on. It's eerie without being overdone, the puzzles are genuinely actually quite smart at times, and the story unravels at a steady, satisfying pace. There's a modern polish as well to the design as well, so while it looks retro, it definitely feels a little bit more responsive, I guess would be the way to put it. But I love this game, genuinely one of the best horror throwbacks I've played in a while. My only complaint with it, a few of the enemies are absolute just pains in the ass, especially the ones that poison you and land these cheap hits where you're just trying to like line up a shot. Still, like if you grew up on Resident Evil and Silent Hill, you want to play Crow Country. Wildfrost is 40% off a new low price, and if you're into deck builders, Wildfrost is one of the better ones on Switch. It's sharp, stylish, packed with tactical depth. The setup sees you leading a band of quirky, card-based heroes through frosty battlefields in a desperate fight to push back the endless winter. The art style is clean and just full of personality, but don't let the cute faces fool you. This is actually a very tough game. Every turn matters, positioning is key, and you'll constantly be weighing risk versus reward as you kind of build out that party. Now, I do think the balancing can be a little like off at times. Certain runs feel a bit stacked against you, but overall, it's smartly designed and hugely replayable, especially once you unlock new tribes and card types. So if you like your roguelikes challenging, I'd definitely take a look. Call to the Lamb Cultist Edition is 50% off, matching its lowest price, and this version includes the base game along with the Cultist pack. That is a set of exclusive follower forms, decorative items for your cult, and a themed outfit for the Lamb. It's a nice bonus, but the real draw here is the game itself. On Switch 1, yes, performance still has its wobbles, especially when your cult gets bigger, but it's one of those games where the style, charm, and gameplay easily shine through. Now, I haven't tested it yet on Switch 2, it's on my list, but I'd expect a much smoother experience across the board. Now, gameplay-wise, you're playing as a possessed lamb, resurrected by a dark god, tasked with building a cult in the woods while also fighting through roguelike dungeons to take down rival deities. It's this strange, brilliant mix of kind of like Animal Crossing, Hades, half management sim, half action combat. It's wild at times. But yeah, it's got this twisted sense of humor and a fantastic art style. Samurai Warriors 5 is 50% off, matching its lowest price, and this, in my opinion, the best Warriors game on the system. Looks good, runs well, even on Switch 1, and I really liked how they stripped things back to the essentials. There's no bloated mechanics, no convoluted systems, it just works. It gives you that kind of, adrenaline boost. The game just reboots the series though with this incredible cel-shaded art style, and yeah, absolutely beautiful game. And of course, come here for that classic Warriors gameplay, carving through hundreds of enemies in massive battles, but the streamlined structure makes it feel faster and more focused. And yeah, there's still plenty of variety as well. There's a fair few playable characters, different weapon types, skill trees, but it never gets in the way of that core power fantasy. And with performance here holding steady across both Switch models, it's easily one of the most essential Warriors experiences on the platform. The big three of the week then are exclusive for the UK, EU and Australia, starting with Persona 5 Tactica, which is 70% off a new low price. Now I covered this one on the channel, I'll link that down below, but in short I think it's a gem. Now if you're into tactics games, it's definitely on the simpler side, but if you love these characters in the world of Persona 5, it's a really fun detour. Now the setup sees the Phantom Thieves pulled into a bizarre revolution-themed alternate reality, where they have to team up with a new character and basically take down corrupt tyrants in grid-based, turn-based battles. It leans heavily into movement, knocking enemies into cover, setting up triple threat all-out attacks, and chaining together clever positioning plays. It's definitely lighter than, say, Fire Emblem, but it nails the style, it keeps the pace up, and it still finds time for meaningful character moments along the journey. So yeah, I think this one's a great spin-off for fans, even though at this point, I think like everybody, I'm just ready now for Persona 6. Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown is 60% off a new low price. This one flew under the radar for a lot of people, but it's genuinely one of the strongest action platformers on Switch. It reimagines the Prince of Persia series as a full-blown Metroidvania, complete with tight platforming, stylish combat, and a surprisingly deep world to explore. Now you play as Sargon, a warrior from an elite group called the Immortals. You're pulled into a time-twisting mission to rescue the kidnapped prince. The combat is incredibly fast, it's incredibly fluid. Think parries, dashes, supernatural powers, and this all unlocks new ways to navigate the world. The level design though is incredibly well done, the boss fights are great fun, and it all looks gorgeous on both Switch models, especially on the OLED screen. See, I think this one was underappreciated. In fact, I thought it was fantastic, so if you skipped it at launch, give it some serious consideration at this price. Our two winners of the week then are on screen right now. Congrats both, email me for the code, and everyone else drop a comment below for your chance in next Saturday's video. Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance is 50% off a new low price, and this one doesn't need much in the way of an introduction. It's the definitive version of, SMT5, a massive challenging post-apocalyptic RPG with a completely overhauled story path, new characters, expanded areas, and just loads of quality of life tweaks. So whether you're new or returning, I think this one is the version to play. Now you'll be exploring a ruined Tokyo as the Nahobino, a fusion of human and demon, battling and negotiating with demons to build out that perfect team. The combat is as good as ever, turn-based with a heavy emphasis on exploiting weaknesses and punishing mistakes. It can be brutally difficult, and then the demon fusion system is as deep and addictive as it's always been. Now I did test this on Switch 2 as well, and it's a huge improvement over the original release. Better performance, smoother battles, definitely a cleaner-ish visual presentation, so I'll link that video below. But I think this game, if you're an RPG fan, you owe it to yourself to play it. And that's the video down. What will you be adding to the library this week? Let me know in the comments. With that, again, subscribe if you enjoyed this one. It helps out a channel like mine a huge amount. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Cheers all.